Let's take you outside Luthuli House now, where some ANC staff members and some journalists were trapped earlier. They've since been released. We find Newzroom Afrika's Mbali Thethani for some context into this matter in terms of what we know about what happened, Mbali, and where we are now.
Well, of course, just earlier this afternoon, we saw those reports coming out from the Luthuli House. You'd also remember that there was indeed an MK-MVA briefing. So there were indeed some journalists who were attending that briefing. But at the same time, there was a protest which was being conducted by some members from the Dr. Kenneth Kaunda region in the North West who have come here to come bring their disputes before the ANC in the North West heads to its provincial conference next week. But just to give us a bit of more insight when it comes to, there was a situation where journalists said that they were trapped. We're just going to bring in someone from the North West. His name is Bishop Mloyi. Bishop, you have brought your grievances to your mother body, the ANC, and there was a bit of a situation here where some were saying that those inside this building were trapped. Is that true?
People were not trapped. We were just standing there waiting for leadership to come and address us. But because people like sensationalizing things, they say people were trapped. But the leadership did come out. They did listen to our concerns. We did submit our disputes, and there was no trapping or hostage situation whatsoever.
And if you can just tell us a bit of insight in terms of the concerns you have raised, with the disputes you have brought to Luthuli House, what are those disputes?
Key dispute is that branches are being rigged in Matlosana, in most of the Northwest. And what happens is that the people that are rigging the branches, they give us the right to go and submit dispute at the provincial dispute resolution committee. We go there, we submit, we write documents, and they listen to us. But after that, we realize that the people that are sitting in the dispute resolution committee are actually having interest in the provincial leadership of the ANC. They are even running campaigns, they are contesting, their names are being peddled everywhere. So now you find yourself where there is a referee and a player at the same time. The very same people who are in the provincial leadership are also influencing branches, because remember, without a branch, you cannot stand at a provincial conference. So as a result of that, like me, for example, I've been a member of the ANC in good standing from 2018. Here is my proof of membership. It is there, it is active. But funny enough, some people there at the branch level have decided that they are going to register me as a new member. If you are registered as a new member, the ANC dictates that for 6 months you can't participate for leadership because you are still new. But now, when you find out, you take the very same dispute, take it to the provincial dispute committee, they say that they listen to you, and then they give you a call to say, yeah, your dispute has been dismissed. No written communication, nothing at all, and conflicted people who have got vested interest. They are even spending money at branches to influence outcomes, to buy delegates of conferences, and to do all of this nonsense that is there. So we came here to say we are sick and tired of provincial leadership of the ANC in the Northwest and the Dispute Resolution Committee. So we came to speak to the national leadership themselves. If they don't listen to us, we are going to have no option, because the ANC will always say to us, you must go and follow the internal processes. So this is the last point. This is the buck stops here. After that, we have to go to court, because it cannot be that we are denied our democratic right as members of the ANC to exercise our right to stand, to vote, to nominate, and all of that. And then some people will just come there and say, you are not a member, and then we are thrown out, and then the provincial leadership, the provincial distribution committee also is in on it, referee and player. I can give you names of 3 at least people who were in the dispute committee, but now they are contesting, they want to be provincial chairperson. That is nonsense.
Thank you very much. Of course, that is Mloyi, Bishop Mloyi, rather. Of course, he did indeed here come and give his grievances and these disputes being raised by the Dr. Kenneth Kaunda region. I'm going to bring in the ANC spokesperson, Pule Mabe. Earlier, Pule, we saw that there were reports of hostage, trapped people inside Luthuli House. Is that an over-exaggeration of this issue?
Well, it's an over-exaggeration. Actually, these journalists need to start telling us, maybe one day we must come and be workshopped on how someone who is trapped in a building looks like. Because they were not trapped here. They were not trapped. They were at pains because they had already told their editors that they are trapped. Now they are at pains trying to ask that questions. in front of the very members of the ANC who are here. We shouldn't do that. We should not be disparate to project the ANC in a negative light like that. We shouldn't do that. I mean, there's some desperation that the ANC must be out at all costs, even from our buildings. Go everywhere. No, we shouldn't do that. The media mustn't do that. If these comrades who are here had the potential to hold journalists hostage, would they be willing to talk to you? You are asking them questions. They are telling you why they came here. They visited Luthuli House to come and register their own concerns, not to come and hold anyone hostage. When they left the Northwest, they did not know that there's a press briefing here. When they arrived here, we had issued a directive that both the exit and entrance should be closed so that we address them outside the building. Now, between protecting this building from having bigger numbers owing to what we're dealing with as part of COVID and now releasing journalists, what were we supposed to do? So let's clarify that. No one was trapped. Journalists left nicely. They drove back to their newsrooms. So we must remove that. There was no one who was trapped in the building. You know, no one. So if these comrades came here to come and hold this building hostage, they would not have agreed to speak to yourselves. They are members of the ANC in good standing. They came from the Northwest to come and deposit their own disputes. Expectation from them is that we must give them a hearing. We have addressed them earlier on. And in our own address to them, we have said we are going to elevate their issues to the National Dispute Resolution Committee. Because there was a bit of an anomaly in the province where verdicts were being conveyed verbally. So we had said this must also be done in writing. But where the adjudication of such disputes is such that members are not satisfied or false outs is done outside our own framework, we've established the NDRC to be able to do those balance and checks. We've communicated a message to yourselves before that we are going to make sure that before all of these provincial conferences are convened, we've isolated all of the disputes. Because a platform of conference in the ANC must be one that unites our people. Because if it doesn't, you can imagine, you sit at a conference, some of your members are not happy. Do you think that that leadership will be able to lead? We're not concerned as Luthuli House on who these comrades support in their own respective provinces. Every member of the ANC in good standing, as part of the obligation of members, is entitled to nominate and be nominated, to pursue and be pursued. Those are the rights they enjoy as members. Those rights are enshrined in the constitution of the ANC.
Pule, taking this back to what happened last year during the local government elections, there were some of your members also raising concerns and disputes around lists. This year, you're holding a number of provincial and regional conferences of the ANC, and we still continue to see people coming out here. And, the sense we are getting is that there's always the issue around the manipulation of, people's names and branches. What is the ANC doing to ensure that we don't continue to see when your own members are saying that processes are being manipulated?
Actually, the new membership system has begun isolating such instances. If a member has been a member of the African National Congress, say since 2018 or 2016, and the record are captured like that on the system, even if you were a branch secretary and trying to do other things, it would not work. Because the central membership system of the ANC is such that we have got the central repository of the entire database of those who are members of the ANC in good standing. Actually, the last conferences we ran, the Limpopo conference, we used the new membership system with very little glitches. The conference of the Eastern Cape, we used the new membership system with very little glitches. Even yourselves now, as members of the media, we accredit you in those conferences using the new membership system. It will have its own teething problems because it's early days. But it is proving to be the most effective way to run organization and be able to account for those that are members and isolate wrongdoers. Because manipulation of membership system, of audits to be able to produce results, it's a circumvention of democracy. It doesn't work. I led the ANC Youth League, and one of the things I enjoyed when we led the Youth League was that we allowed members of the Youth League to be able to express themselves without any manipulation. You see, But it must be, they must feel that the process was fair.
Okay.
You know,
My last question to you: where does this leave the ANC North West conference? Will it still go ahead as planned for next week Friday?
Well, if it doesn't go ahead next week as planned, it will be because we are not done with the resolution of this. So we need to resolve all of this to allow that conference and all others to proceed. Because, you see, we don't want to be dealing with disputes at the platform of conference. It doesn't work.
So currently, how many disputes are you dealing with from the Northwest?
Well, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I'm the spokesperson of the ANC. I'm not the jack of all trades in the organization. We have got the NDRC that deals with those. Actually, they'd already deposited what they brought here, and then those are going to be filed with the NDRC.
Okay, thank you very much. Of course, that is Pule Mabe, the spokesperson of the ANC.